Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video, and the devs have responded, okay? So there has been a big controversy over the recent launch of the Chinese version of Nikke. The community has been losing their minds over this, and yesterday a company Shill happened to make the comment that like maybe this wasn't a big deal. Sorry, I can't even keep going with this bit. But okay, so yesterday I made a video where the point of it was actually saying that I had to stop playing Girls Frontline 2. I didn't have time to play it anymore, and I was kind of losing interest. And I was going to be focusing, more on Nikke and Ethereum Restart when it launched. And then kind of at the end, I just didn't even, it was sort of a throwaway comment. I was just like, hey, I've heard there's a lot of controversy with the Chinese version. I wouldn't worry about it. It's a different version. It doesn't affect our game. Hopefully we'll get the improvements, but it's just a different environment. So there's going to be changes. It's very common for games in different regions to have pretty significant changes. And I talked about a little bit of my experience with other games that had done that. And there were some people in the comments that had some very strong opinions about that. We'll say that. Clearly this is a big issue that people care a lot about. And that's fair, and some people, agree with me and some people didn't, and that's fine. But the devs have seen this as something that they need to comment about. In fact, we just got a gift where to try and appease people more or less, which I think is kind of funny because it's here's 1,500 gems and resources. Hey, I'll take it. It's cool. But I feel like anybody who's really, really raging about this is probably not going to be quelled by that gift. But anyway, we got a developer's note along with the in-game gift of resources. So let's go ahead and read what they actually say. There's a lot of cool updates here on more than just the Chinese launch of the game and optimization of the client. So by the way, if you want to see what I actually said about that, we talked about it a lot on stream last night. So check that out, as well as the last video I made that was talking about stopping Girls Frontline 2. You can get greater context, although probably if you didn't already watch that, no one on the internet is going to bother to do that. But you can see the discussions we had about that. And, if you are interested in a little bit more of a nuanced approach, please, I encourage you to go listen. And we had some good conversation with people in chat as well about it who had sort of a little bit more of an educated opinion on how these game development things work. Anyway, so we're talking from the game director here. The weather has been warming up lately. Do we need a weather report, dude? Come on. Lately, and some days already feel like summer. Around this time of year, we are focused on preparing updates and improvements, and we have been reflecting on that recently. Blah, blah, blah. Loading and storage optimization plan. Over the past 2.5 years of service, our Goddess of Victory Nikke team has done everything we can to keep bringing fresh and exciting content to our commanders. From brand new events and visual effects to minigames, music tracks, and new bosses, we've prioritized a variety over reruns to keep the experience engaging. However, the constant additional and new resources has started to put a strain on both storage space and loading times. The loading times in Nikke are really slow, and honestly, they've been slow since day one. I don't know, maybe they've gotten worse. I feel like they were always bad, though. In any live service game, technical optimization is a never-ending process happening behind the scenes. Our team has been constantly working to improve performance. That said, we've been cautious about openly discussing these efforts, and optimization results can vary widely depending on the device. With the huge range of mobile hardware out there, it's hard to promise the same improvements across the board or explain them in a one-size-fits-all way. That said, in recent builds, the scope of these optimization efforts has grown so large that we feel it is time to speak directly about what we are doing. We apologize for the delay in communication on this, and we wanted to have a more solid, actionable plan in place before making any announcements. Here's what we've currently been working on. And this is something that I brought up in stream just before I read this, is that there's a lot of things that unless you're a game developer or someone who has sort of intimate knowledge into what the technical challenges are of this, we can't speak in an educated manner, right? It's easy to be hey, well, they did it on that server, why don't they do it on ours? But it doesn't always work like that. But we'll leave that alone for now. Anyway, we're aiming to fix the long black screen that appears when launching the game by June. Yes, dude. Honestly, the loading games in the game in general aren't that bad, but launching the game is painful. It's kind of crazy. Based on testing, we expect to shorten load times by at least 27 seconds on both mobile and PC and up to 141 seconds or more. Nice. So there's a big spread there, obviously, depending on what hardware you're on, but between 27 seconds faster and 141 seconds or more, that would make it launch way, way quicker, almost instantly. Because I think it's like a little over 2 minutes now. I'm not sure though. Again, that's for me. It's gonna depend on what it is for other people, right? For the asset download delay, stage 5.7, the first improvement was rolled out on May and already reduced load times by 3 to 6 seconds. A second round of improvements is targeted for November. For the delay when entering the lobby, stage 2.2, we're working to resolve this by mid-July to some extent. In terms of storage size, we've actively been working to cut the total game size in half and without sacrificing visual quality. Long term, we're planning a structural overhaul that uses segmented resource management to prevent massive file increase in future updates. That's cool. I've actually talked to people who literally don't have enough room on their device. And so anytime they can make the file sizes smaller, that's going to be really appreciated. To all our commanders who've experienced these issues, we sincerely apologize. We are fully committed to delivering tangible results you can feel in game. Most importantly, we're enhancing an internal development process and bringing in additional team members focus solely on optimizing to ensure ongoing improvement. Thank you for sticking with us. We're doing everything we can to give you a smoother, more stable game experience. Notice on gameplay content. Okay, so now we're getting to actual new things coming to the game. So they're just letting us know, hey, we've been working on the stuff behind the scenes. We're going to be working on it even more now. Hopefully things are going to be faster, smoother, better. And that's cool. Good, glad to hear it because we do need it. So Union Raid hard mode convenience improvements. As mentioned in March developers note, we'll be making improvements to Union Raid hard mode. Previously, bosses were unlocked one at a time, which meant players had to wait to challenge the ones they wanted. Starting with the new Union Raid season for May 30, it's coming up in 1 week, guys, get ready. All bosses will now be unlocked at the same time. This change will let you play in any order you like, and we hope it makes the experience more convenient and enjoyable for all commanders. This is cool. This is something that was suggested, and I think this is a great change. So it looks like we're gonna have access to all 5 bosses, and then you can just attack whichever one your team is suited for best, and then once all of those are dead, then you'll have access to the next levels, all 5 bosses, and so on. There were some other changes that aren't talked about here in the dev notes. For instance, you're gonna use up an attempt even if you kill the boss. And there's actually in-game notices that talk about this more, so just keep that in mind. All right, coordinated operation content improvements. Coordinated operation is not the best. It can be cool with a group of friends you know. Let's see if it's better now. We're excited to share updates on the upcoming Coordinated Operation 2.0, which will feature 2 distinct modes to better suit different playstyles. First is normal mode. Designed for commanders who prefer a more casual, fast-paced experience, the mode will include auto battle, and once damage reaches stage 9, the boss will automatically trigger an instant death pattern. No canceling mechanics required. We hope this makes coordinated operation more convenient and easy to enjoy for those looking to clear content quickly. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate this. Honestly, there are some days when you just don't have time, you just don't want to deal with it. And this will make it so you're not messing up people who are trying to go for a good score. So this is perfect because if you are someone who's trying to do well and then there's people who just tap out, it's really frustrating. Next, the challenge mode aimed at commanders who want a more competitive and skill-based experience. In this mode, auto battle will be disabled, and the boss's instant death pattern will only trigger if the players fail to cancel it. Gameplay will feel similar to the original Crude Operation, but with a few new features to raise the stakes. All right, this is cool. I like this. So if you're going for a real run, you're going to get to do the same thing, but even with more things. So one key addition is an inactivity removal system. Players who remain idle for a set period of automatically removed from the battle. We hope this feature clearly distinguishes between normal and challenge modes, allowing players to, with similar playstyles, to enjoy coordinated operation together even more. We're also adding a report feature in challenge mode. If players act in ways that go against the mode's intended design and receive multiple reports, they'll be temporarily restricted from accessing the mode until certain conditions are met. All right, fair. Any kind of community reporting system is appreciated. A lot of games do similar kind of things like that. By clearly distinguishing between normal and challenge modes, we hope to reduce the stress associated with matching and gameplay in coordinated operation. Nice, good changes there. We're also revamping the coordinated operation reward system. Currently, the items available in the recycling shop haven't been enough of a motivation to keep players engaged. I mean, I would argue they've been decent. They could be better though. They could be better. Best of all. To improve this, we'll be adding new gear-related items. Hey, okay. To upgrade credits as rewards, these will be available through the new currency that can be earned from coordinated operation rankings. Don't worry, broken cores, the current currency will still be used to preserve your existing experience. Okay, cool. And some way we can get more gear will be appreciated by a ton of people. Best of all, this new currency won't be limited to specific rankings. It can be obtained across all rankings, providing more opportunities to enhance your equipment. Originally scheduled to be released in Q3, Coordinated Operation 2.0 is ahead of schedule and will now be launching in June. We can't wait for it to be out. So probably they originally had this scheduled for Q3 because they thought that they would still be working on Champions Arena, but miraculously they got that game mode out, so now they have more time to work on this and get it out earlier. Anybody who thinks I just back shift up no matter what has not seen me clown on them for various things, including Champions Arena. Anyway, introduction to the surface content. So this is something we've been hearing about for a while, but have no real concrete information until now. In fact, we even get a screenshot, which is pretty cool. We would like to give you a brief introduction to the upcoming surface content. Unlike existing battlefields, the new surface content introduces a 3D world built on hexagon tiles. While squad formation and movement will feel familiar to what you've seen in campaign missions, movement here happens tile by tile with various exploring elements scattered throughout the map, something you can see in the preview images shared by the developers. Okay, so we got kind of like a Warhammer 40k type board. That's cool. Since content like Solar Raid already delivers a high intense combat experience, battles on the surface will be fully simulation-based, designated to reduce stress. Okay, cool. Our goal is to give players a fresh way to enjoy with their nikkes through smart squad setups and strategic deployment rather than pure combat difficulties. Okay, so this is going to be a very strategic mode. That's cool. In addition, battles against Lord class and boss raptures will... Is there a boss class rapture? I mean, I guess... Sure. All right. Isn't that Tyrant Raptures? Will include area gimmicks, which add like tactical challenges. Okay, so we're going to get some like variation in like maps or like terrain or something that will like affect it. Tactical challenges that rely on simple controls and team-based strategies. Lord class Raptures will be available when the surface content launches, and boss Raptures will be added in later updates. This looks kind of cool. I'm very interested in what this is going to be like. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll definitely be excited to try it once it launches. We also plan to see this new field to host small-scale events and mini updates. So there's even more to look forward to because the content is on a larger scale. We'll be keeping the story elements more simplified to allow smoother, more flexible updates. Right now, we're in the final stages of preparing the Lord-class Rapture battles. However, after further internal testing, we've decided to take a bit more time to improve the tactical experience. We apologize for the delay, but we're committed to developing surface content that meets your expectations in both quality and gameplay. Okay? Notice on improvements and convenience. All right, so we're getting some more optimization notes. I need some water. We'd like to share an update regarding upcoming improvements in convenience. Although we simplified daily missions back in January, we still need room to improve overall daily playtime. With more content on the way, we understand that playtime could increase, and our goal is to keep daily gameplay manageable and enjoyable even as the game grows. That's good. That's good they're keeping that in mind, because as much as I want engaging gameplay and some challenging modes, I don't want my every single day daily task to be a burden. Like, I want my, minimum task to be quick and easy and not like snowballing into something crazy, right? And then if I want to sit down and really like play for a while and focus on something like once or twice a week or something, then that's a different matter. You want some balance there. So addition of block purchase function in the shop. We're adding a new feature that will let players purchase multiple items at once. All right, that's cool. The more like sliders and stuff we can have for things, the better. That's always appreciated in games. That's something that Theory Restart really needs to do before they launch. After this beta, there was no slider for like upgrading equipment and stuff, and it was like annoying as heck. Anyway, different game. We're adding a new feature that will let players purchase multiple items at once instead of having to buy them one at a time. Think of this like a shopping cart system. This is aimed at reducing the hassle of tapping the buy each time individually in event or content shops. Nice. So you can like select multiple things and then purchase. This feature is scheduled to roll out in June, and we hope it makes your shopping experience more convenient. Regarding the launch of Chinese version, oh boy. Lastly, we'd like to share an important update with care. Okay, we're doing this very careful update. On May 22nd, Goddess Victory Nikke officially launched in China. Due to the significant differences compared to the global version at launch, the Chinese version will run on a separate build with its own policies. The 2.5-year gap and separate builds mean that on the one hand, there might possibly be story spoilers, but on the other hand, it also allows us to incorporate some unique and complementary elements. We understand that some people may question why certain new costumes and convenience features are only launching in China, and we completely understand these feelings. But we believe that the two versions, China and global, will grow in their own directions under different conditions and circumstances, and that one day their differences will enrich one another. For now, we hope you understand that we are in the middle of this improvement process. Since we're in different environments, differences in these updates are inevitable. However, we'll share feedback and direction as we go so that our paths can ultimately lead to a better future for each version, starting with loading improvements. We're working on a number of global releases and improvements that will be announced in future developer notes. Okay, so this is kind of the main thing that I wanted to get across when I previously talked about this. It's a totally different game in a totally different environment. And I know that might sound weird to some people, but it's just completely different challenges, whether that's like cultural, legal, timeline, development cost, whatever it is, they're having to do something to make this work in China. And it sounds like they specifically put in bold here, their differences will enrich another, kind of implying that maybe, we're going to end up combining into like having the same experience at some point. But they've got to do a lot to get the CN version caught up and to make that appealing to the CN audience. And it's just a completely different situation, completely separate product from any other server. So, just keep that in mind. All right. So we remain committed to supporting the global version with our full effort, and will continue working to strengthen both versions together. We kindly ask for your support for the Chinese version so that the world of Nikke can allow more commanders to be connected together and receive more love. Closing remarks. To be honest, preparing the developer's note has been a time of deep reflection. Sure, okay. With the official launch of the Chinese version, I've been thinking a lot about how two different builds can still share the same world. I've also reflected on ongoing challenges like loading times and storage, the introduction of the new surface content, and how we weren't able to deliver it on our originally planned date. Looking back, each of these matters has weighed heavily on me as a developer. No matter how exciting the new content or how many improvements we introduce, we know that first and foremost, there are people who have been waiting. That is what stays with us the most. It is why delays feel more painful and why we are committed to repaying your patience with meaningful results. That same mindset applies to the collaboration projects we have been working on. The Goddess of Victory Nikke and Stellar Blade collaboration, hype, began with a lot of pressure and concern, even though the two titles share a similar tone and come from the same studios. Shift Up, we are careful not to move too quickly. We are worried that if they did not blend naturally, it could diminish the characters of both games. They're both really rich worlds with, again, similar themes, but I'm glad they're taking it seriously, and I'm so hyped for it. Again, I will be streaming all the Nikke update in Stellar Blade when that launches, and then of course obviously all the Stellar Blade stuff in Nikke like I would normally. Still, we keep working together. Over time, we discovered they shared a similar emotional core, and we found a genuine connection between them. it was not impossible after all. We truly believe that after all this preparation, commanders will love what we have created. We began as a project full of uncertainty, has become something we are genuinely proud of. This is not just about Stellar Blade collaboration. We know we are not perfect. Sometimes we fall behind, but we never stop moving forward when we are with you. To honor that trust, even today, the development team continues to write the story of Nikke one line at a time. We will keep doing everything we can to make sure this story lives not just in your memories, but also in your hearts. Thank you for always being with us. All right, so, I mean, ultimately, like, Shift Up is not perfect, and there are definitely improvements they can make, and they've made a lot of mistakes, but overall, I've always said, I think they're a great developer, and I think they genuinely do try and bring us a good product. Maybe we should stay down here so we can see my girl Snow White. I'm happy that they are kind of responding to the community. Hopefully, people stop crashing out about this. And, I think Nikke has a bright future ahead of it. And, I'm glad that Nikke continues to be expanded. I'm super hyped for the Stellar Blade collaboration. I'm super hyped for shorter load times in the future. Let me know what your thoughts are. And also, for the record, just because some people brought this up, and the vast majority of people responded positively to my video, I just want to say. And I think I have really a cool community and great viewers. And, I want to encourage people, whether they agree with me or not, to express their opinions. So that's great. But, I mean, there were some people who, claimed that I had, a sponsorship from Tencent or China or something, and that's ridiculous, guys. Just that has never happened. I've never gotten money for literally anything. Okay, this is all for fun, and I make a little ad revenue from YouTube. So that's all that is. But all right, thanks for hanging out, guys. Let me know what you think about these dev notes. What are you most excited for? Is there anything you're still concerned about? What's your favorite new feature that's coming up? Remember, don't forget, Union Raid is in 1 week. I'll see you guys on stream. Subscribe for more Nikke news, Ethereum restart, hot takes, gotcha, waifu stuff, whatever. I'll catch you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.